everyone, it's Lisa from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel. Now it's soap challenge time again today, and for this month's soap challenge we had to make a beach themed soap. Now, other than the fact that we had to have a bit of a beach, so some sandy sort of surface and some sea, we were open to do what we wanted to do. Now, I know I keep saying this recently, but I'm a bit pressed for time for this one, so I'm just going to do a fairly simple, just a wave soap. I'm not going to do anything complicated with embeds and all of that sort of stuff. I'm just going to do a purely poured soap, and a fairly quick pour at that. So the first thing I want to do is make my sandy layer. So I've just got a small amount of my oils and my lye solution. Now I want my sand all one colour, so I'm going to add my mica. Now this mica is black gold from Mica Mama. It's a nice deep golden colour. Okay, let's just get that mixed in a bit, and then I'm just going to blend this up. Now, this layer, I'm not too worried. I've got it a bit warmer. It's 92, which is a little bit hot for me, but that's fine because I do want it to set up. I might even warm it a little bit more because the fragrance oil I'm using is actually pretty slow. Right, so that's that mica sort of lightly mixed in. Let's now just get this blended up. It's only a small amount because it's just a little bit of sand that I want for the bottom. Okay, and now the fragrance oil I'm using today is a really slow moving fragrance oil. It's Paradisiac from Stock Fragrance. It can actually decelerate your trace a little bit. Now I've chosen this because it's a nice beachy sort of themed fragrance oil, but also because of the way I want to do my wave, I do want to keep a nice fluid batter. Okay, so I think that will be enough. Now I don't want this too thick because I do want to obviously be able to pour it into the mould. Okay, so as I can see, this is still really quite fluid. I am actually going to just quickly pop this into the microwave just for probably about 5-10 seconds to get some more heat into it, so I'm not waiting forever for this to set up. Okay, still pretty fluid, but it's thickening now. Yeah, and that's at 117 now. So I think it still will take a little while, but I'm going to go with this and just get this poured into my mould. Okay, sometimes I get asked about this funny little block I've got at the end here. I just literally printed myself a little block just because I found with this mould is it seems to be made so it cuts exactly to sort of like 2.5 centimetre bars. I always like a little bit, like a lot of people do, a little bit cut off the end. So I found I was wasting a bit of soap. So I've just made this to actually shrink the mould. I know it loses me 1 bar of soap, but it means I'm not wasting so much soap with offcuts and that. So that's what that is, if you're wondering. Now I want a bit of an angle on this. So I am just going to prop that up. Anything will do to prop it up. You might have a snazzy piece of kit to do it, or just a cloth. That's what I'm going to use. I'll probably need this cloth later, so I might regret my choice. Okay, so just propping that up a little bit to get a little bit of a slant on it. Just so I've got an angle on my beach, slightly. I scraped my jug out in there, and you can see I've got a little bit of a lumpy bit there. I'm okay with that. And you know, a bit of sandy beach wouldn't be completely flat, so I just thought it was more important just to get all of the soap into the mould. And if there's a few little lumps on that bottom bit, well, that would be quite natural, wouldn't it? Right, so I'm going to let that set up and then we'll get on with the next layer.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really want falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
Okay, yeah, so we're definitely emulsified. I don't know if I can't get you to see that. I don't know if you can see on the side there how it's just a nice, solid, homogeneous colour. There, it hasn't all split out, so we're fine with that. That's emulsified. Barely at a trace, but that's fine because I do want to keep this nice and fluid. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to get my mould on an angle. Try and find something a bit bigger. I'll go and get my actual... There, I think that'll be ready. Okay, so I'm just going to start pouring this in.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Okay, so there's that. I mean, all a bit of a mess because obviously I was trying to be super speedy there, but that easily wipes up, doesn't it? Right, just carefully wipe this without disturbing it. So now what I want to do is do the top of the wave. So I'm just going to bring in my white and just gradually add it to the top.
Jumping from cliffs so high.
Okay, I think that will do. I don't really want to squirt anymore, so I'll get air bubbles. Right, so there's that done. So the next thing I want to do is now bring in the sky. So my plan for this is I want to chuck a load down here quite hard to try and make the wave shift a little bit. So I am actually going to lower this a little bit. Let's put it on this block. I don't want to start with white. I do want to start with a light blue. Oh, let's not forget my fragrance in here. Okay, so that will be fine to start with. Okay, so I'm going to try and drop this quite hard down here. Whoop. And then I'm going to come round the back. To try and shape the wave that way. I have no clue if this is working, by the way. Let's get the rest of this blue in to finish off. Okay, so hopefully that's given us an effect. One of the things I'm concerned about is obviously whether this sky blue seems a little bit close to the sea blue, but we will see that when we cut it. So definitely one of those. I've just had a go. I thought of a way to do it. And we will see if that's turned out any good. Now that top is going to take a little while to set up. I'm not going to do anything fancy on the top. I'm just going to do a simple swirl. So I'm just going to leave that to set a bit and then come back when that's ready to do. All I've done here is just scraped out my bits of pieces of my jugs and sort of drizzled them on the soap. So now I'm just going to finish off this soap top and kind of try and make it look wavy. I'm going to give it a go. Not really sure if it's going to work. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to leave that like that. Now that is still really super fluid. So what I'm going to do is just cover that up with my lid. And then when it's a little bit more stable, I'm going to lift it up and then put it away to C-pop. And then we'll cut it tomorrow. I have no idea whether that's worked or not, but we will discover tomorrow and see what we've got inside.
So here we are with our soap the next day. Let's get this cut then and see what we've got. So let's grab these first bars here. And kind of. I kind of like that curvy bit there in front of the wave. I'm not so keen on the actual shape of the wave itself. That one's a bit better, but of that sort of jaggedy bit at the front that's curled under. So I think overall they're sort of kind of getting there, and I've got some ideas how I could improve it, but I don't actually have time before this soap challenge to do it again. But I kind of think it shows some promise, but it's not exactly what I wanted. But I'll enter it anyway. It's clearly not going to win any prizes, but I had a go and that's all I had time for. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and maybe you like the soap. I don't mind it. I think it's quite abstract. Thanks so much for watching, folks. If you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel? Happy soaping!